G'day YouTube, welcome back to another random clock bench video. Today I've got, hang on, just need a drink. Today I've got Asus Rampage open and I've got my GTX980 installed. I'm ready to jump in and see exactly how well this card runs in Asus Rampage and do a few tweaks along the way with some console tweaking. The CPU of choice today is the i7-990X, released back in 2011, I believe, making it a 12-year-old CPU. We've got this processor running at 4.8 gig, so it's no slouch by any means. Motherboard is the Asus Rampage III formula, which I picked up the other day in my $15 or $30, I can't remember, system. So I've got my 990X in this motherboard. Memory is 3 sticks of 8 gig for a total of 24 gig, 1600 megahertz RAM. These three make for a potent combo. Anyway, the GTX 980 is overclocked a little bit. Got it plus 125 on the core, bringing it up to 1391 megahertz. It's got a total of 4 gig of VRAM, which is not really that much, but it's actually not that bad. You know, in some of the newer games, especially at 1080p, it still holds its own. Running the driver version 546.17. Alright, let's have a look how Asus Rampage runs. This is the stock, I think stock low settings. I haven't changed anything except for windowed mode, and 1080p, all low. I'm going to change these to low in a minute. So it looks like we're getting around 20 frames a second. This is not really playable in this state. Let's just put everything onto low. Anti-aliasing low, shadows low, global illumination low, foliage on low. Resolution, we'll drop that down a bit to say 40. Why you have to do that twice, I'll never know. It is what it is. Has that improved our frames at all? Oh, that made it worse. That's random. How come that was worse? What happened? Did light bloom go on automatically? Yes, I think it did. So turning everything to complete low gave us around about 20 frames a second. That gave us around 30 FPS. So 10 above the stock. Let's see what else we can drop. Oh, resolution back to 90. Look at that. Okay, that's not saving at all. Alright, that looks like it's saved. Alright, now we've got everything set to low. Resolution scale at 38. Light bloom off. And we definitely don't need that. We don't have an RTX. So currently sitting around 30 to 35 frames a second with no console tweaks. This actually feels pretty good, quite smooth. Let's reset our counter. Have a look at our average frames. Yeah, average frame rate around about 30. It feels quite smooth. Alright, let's start getting a few console tweaks up. Start with a fog. Did nothing. Cloud. Okay, that netted us around 5 FPS extra. Starting to feel a bit smoother. Let's get rid of the fog. That didn't really do much at all either. The water, let's see how we go with the water. Let's have a look at the water and see what that does. Okay, it turns it to ugly mode. I don't really feel that did anything. Let's try the water on 1. That's a lot nicer. Reflections on 1, that's actually quite nice, looks alright. Game's starting to feel very smooth. Illumine diffuse set to 0. Did nothing. Grass. Give that a second to kick in. Did almost nothing for our frames. Shadow virtual, whatever that is. That did nothing for our frames. Distance field shadowing. Nothing. Shadow quality 0. Couple of frames there. This should be a decent one. The mip map. There we go. Look at the frames go up with the mip map. It's like a 15 frames jump. It's putting us close to 50 frames a second. 60 I see sometimes. Game running very smoothly. Incredibly smoothly. Okay, this is basically that, which you can put in a line if you want to put them all in at once. Can we get a solid 60 if we bump this down to, say, 25? Again, didn't save. Look at that, 59 FPS. Almost solid. There we go, 50, 60 FPS. Wow, very smooth. $1080p with all the settings on low and 25 resolution scale. Motion, light, shafts all off. Why is that 59? Let's set that to 60. What's my desktop resolution? 60, that should be 60. Well, let's reset our counters and have a look at our averages now. What's happened? That's gone back to 90. There we go. 25 resolution scale. Let's go 25 resolution scale. Wow. Very smooth. Looks like crap, but it's very smooth. This is definitely playable like this. Let's put the grass back on. Oops. One. I think the grass costs around 5 FPS, which I'm more than happy to sacrifice because it looks a lot better with the grass. Let's go for a run up here. Yeah, well, those console tweaks certainly improved things a lot. The MIP-map load BIOS certainly increases the FPS a lot. Let's try that at 5 or 5 or 6. Go 5. I mean, this is very playable in this state with this old hardware. I mean, the graphics card is very, it's an old graphics card. When is it? 2014, so 9 years old. Graphics card is 9 years old. And with a few tweaks, I mean, it doesn't look that great. But with a few tweaks, you can hit 50, 55 frames per second. I mean, even the processor, oops, we're dead. There we go. I mean, the processor was released in 2011, I believe. So that's a 12-year-old processor. It's just a shame the 990X doesn't have the newer instructions. Yeah, I can take you out. There you go. Average frame rate 50 frames a second. I can certainly live with that. Oh, well, there you go, guys. That's the GTX 980 graphics card in Ark Survival Ascended. Hang on, let me just knock these dudes out. Come on. Oh. So yeah, anyway, that's the GTX 980. It can run this game quite well with a few tweaks. Certainly not ideal, but if you've got nothing else and you want to play Ark, then it's definitely possible.